Long Walk is based on the story written by Stephen King and is directed by Francis Lawrence, director of the second, third, and fourth Hunger Games, and also directed films like Constantine, Red Sparrow, and actually started off as a wildly successful music video director. The film also credits J.T. Molnar as a writer on this film as well. The film stars Cooper Hoffman, who also starred in one of my favorite films of 2021, Licorice Pizza, and Hoffman plays Raymond Garrity, one of the 50 volunteers who apply to be part of the Long Walk, and then picked by a lottery. The Long Walk is a competition where 50 boys walk until all give out, leaving one walker left, who wins a huge amount of money and is granted one wish, one that has to be granted. The only catch is that if you stop or go under 3 miles per hour, you die. After 3 warnings, as the Major says, your ticket gets punched. The Long Walk is put on this character only known as the Major, played by Mark Hamill, who stands on top of a tank, encouraging the boys to keep going in this really gruff sort of voice that kind of sounds like the Joker. And he also gives them praise along the ways in a sadistic sort of way. The Long Walk is put on each year, according to the Major, to be an inspiration to keep working and inspire people to not be lazy and to keep working hard. After the big war, everyone is living in poverty, and the dream of the prize money and that one wish is the reason that these boys are willing to risk their lives. All but Garrity, who has a different goal in mind that is actually very different from the rest of the boys. America has fallen under a totalitarian regime who enforce their ideology through propaganda, suppress all opposition, eliminate freedoms, and use police power to control the population, controlling all aspects of public and private life, including politics, the economy, and individual thought, banning books and music or any art form that contradicts the regime's politics. This film is very dark. And this is not a happy film. At the start, you know, just like the competitors, that 49 young boys will die no matter what. So you try to prepare yourself for the gradual climb from least important boys to the more important characters to the story. What was interesting to me about this film was the camaraderie of a lot of the boys, like this brotherhood. They don't see each other as threats and encourage each other to keep going, and it brings a level of sweetness and heart to this dark film.
Want to walk me a while?
Yeah, I do, Pete.
And also a real sadness, because even though they encourage each other to keep going at their physical worst, they know, and we know, that they aren't going to make it.
Keep walking, listen to Pete, okay? Keep walking, you're with us, you're with us.
Come on, keep walking. Keep walking, that's right. That's right. We out here in the sunshine, just having fun.
Gonna be all right, okay?
There's some of the boys who don't care about anyone's survival, but of course their own. But each one has a sort of redemption in the character later on. The story focuses on the group of 4, self-named the 3 Musketeers, even though there are 4 of them, which is kind of a joke in the film.
All for one!
One for all.
Nah, and again, I need to hear it louder. All for one!
And one for all!
Hell yeah!
Yeah, right, you know.
Yeah, not you.
Peter, played by David Jonsson, who starred in last year's Alien Romulus. Arthur, played by Tut Nyot, and Hank, played by Ben Wang, coming off of this year's Karate Kid Legends. But the 2 main characters here are actually Hoffman's character and Jonsson's character. And I think this is where the film really shines. This relationship between Peter and Cooper that becomes this sweet brotherhood, and knowing that one of them will be killed kind of carries the film. The film takes a lot of time with character development, allowing the audience to really get to know these characters, so you end up really caring about them. And of course, in a film like this, you have plenty of time to do it because all they do is walk in this film. This type of movie could get real stale real fast because there is so much dialogue cut in between the scenes of losing contestants, some shocking and some who are kind of killed off screen or in the distance. The film has a lot of emotional weight, and I wrote down 5 different times in the film where I actually felt a little emotional or just straight up got the chills. One being in the first scene when Cooper's mom, played by Judy Greer, who gives an amazing emotional performance that sort of left me haunted, especially in the second act of the film when we see her watch her son reach their hometown after 300 miles with no shoes on. It's a really heartbreaking scene that I wasn't really expecting, but at the same time, I didn't realize how affected I was by it. In these dramatic scenes, the music is absolute perfection. The score was composed by the Lumineers' Jeremiah Fratice, think that's right. That's probably not right. And it's a hauntingly beautiful and emotional way that it hits at certain points of the film, and it's so perfect. And it hits all the right heartstrings and all the right moments. I, again, love the camaraderie of the four boys, and it reminded me a lot of the boys in Stand By Me, all on a journey with dire consequences, but this one obviously unforgivably fatal. The acting between these four actors were a lot of fun to watch. Wang puts on a great performance, as does Hoffman, but David Jonsson as Peter is what shined for me in this film.
I don't have much to lose. I have everything to gain, and that's why I'm here.
His character is one of those classic characters that are just likable and represent goodness and redemption in a person with a past. He reminded me a lot of Morgan Freeman's character Red from The Shawshank Redemption. That sweetness of this character that represents hope and goodness. The brotherhood between his character and Hoffman's is what really moves the film along, building up the tension and risk as you wonder which one will win and which one will lose, because you want so badly for the both of them to make it out of this alive. The film doesn't make a lot of big moves in cinematography, but there are some great looking scenes of old buildings and cutaways to poverty-stricken onlookers, but the film doesn't oversell the cinematography because it relies more on the story and the dialogue. The score, the sound design, it all works in its favor. The cuts in the film are just cutaways and cross-cuts and some hard cuts. It really doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but I don't think they needed anything fancy for this movie. It makes the film grittier, even in the color grade, feeling like a 1940s period war film like Saving Private Ryan. The film is about brotherhood and kindness in a no-win situation, a group of people who know their fate and not only rely on each other, but also carry each other to their end. There are a lot of interesting themes to explore in this film, and it's worth seeing a second time if you have the heart for it. The Long Walk is a surprising film with so many great performances, lots of emotional scenes that will hit you where it hurts, and keeps you in this constant hook all the way to the unexpected end. I'm giving The Long Walk 4 stars out of 5 for all these reasons. It's not a film that I really want to see again, but I'm glad I saw it. It is rated R for language, obviously, violence, and some crude dialogue and suicide. It is gonna be a very hard watch for some people, so please be warned. But I want to know your thoughts on The Long Walk. Were you a fan of the changes from the book, or do you think they should have stuck with King's version of the story? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more of my reviews for movies hitting theaters. And remember, don't wait till it streams. Let's go to the theater and let's see it together.
What, walk me a while?
Yeah. Yeah, I do, Pete.
You boys are the answer. The long walk is the answer.